Former President Donald Trump started his fraud trial on Monday, and it got heated. So much so that the judge, Arthur Engoron, had to tell Trump's lawyer to basically stop yelling at him. Now, this is according to a reporter who was in the courtroom. I've got a video of her on MSNBC. I'm going to show you in a bit. But basically, when Habba, this is Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, was given a chance to address the court, she then took the time to read off a specially prepared list of complaints. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Yeah. Of course you do. Please, go ahead. It began with Habba complaining that there wasn't a jury. Now, whose fault is that one? Well, again, Trump and Habba want to blame Letitia James, but in reality, you know whose fault it was? Trump's. Or specifically, Alina Habba's. Turns out she did not actually do the paperwork necessary to opt to have a jury trial.
Whoopsie. Whoopsie.
Next, she went after the judge for incorrectly declaring the value of Mar-a-Lago at only $18 million, saying that, oh, no, it's worth $1 billion. It's worth $1 billion. $1 million. Hold on here. First of all, and look, I've shown you video of Don Jr. going around there and saying, oh, 18 million, he only thinks it's $18 million. The judge actually never placed a value on Mar-a-Lago because he's not an appraiser. So he doesn't assign values. So what does this have to do with? Well, according to New York Times reporter Suzanne Craig, Judge Engoron reportedly said, after she brought this up, hang on, I never said that. She then noted that the judge's ruling came down last week, said that there have been valuations for property appraisal that put it at that price. So this isn't the judge saying, I think it's only worth $18 million. No, this was appraisers coming out and looking at the property and appraising it as, oh man, this place is only worth $18 million. That's an appraiser. Look, I've had an appraiser come out and yes, do they sometimes lowball you? Yep. Especially if you're looking to, for example, get a specific loan on the value of your home. So, you know, again, they tend to want to lowball you in some instances. But again, to state that it's worth $1 billion or more than $1 billion and have it actually evaluated at 18 million, that's a bit of a stretch to say that they lowballed it that much. Come on. I don't believe it. And again, I've already pointed out, I've already said, yes, there are appraisers that will, you know, obviously give you a lower value than what you expect, but that 18 million versus $1 billion, wow, world of difference. And that, of course, tells me that maybe Mar-a-Lago is worth a little bit more than that, but probably not that much. Maybe in the $25, $30 million range. And I'm being super generous, okay? But again, none of this has to do with the judge. The judge did not appraise the property. He just passed on the ruling, pointing out that there was appraisals that put it at $18 million. Now, furthermore, I'm going to show you the video here of Craig on MSNBC pointing out why Alina Habba was, again, regurgitating these ridiculous arguments and all while raising her voice. Take a look.
And I just found that really struck me because that's what Donald Trump and some of his lieutenants do. They say a lie and they repeat it over and over and over. And Eric Trump the other night was out tweeting about that valuation, saying the same thing. And so the judge, there was a very heated back and forth and vocal back and forth between the two of them at the end of her remarks. And her audience was an audience of one. It was Donald Trump.
Nailed it. 100%. Now, when she was finished with her comments, as you heard Craig point out, there was there was a very, very tense back and forth. And afterwards, Engoron had to ask the lawyers lower their voices because Habba was shouting so loudly and being so animated. Quote, she gets up and was very animated. She was practically yelling to the point where after she was done, the judge said, to the next lawyer that came up to keep the volume down because it was so loud. So I want to ask, for one, how's this woman a lawyer? Okay. And I say that because this seems to show some pretty poor judgment on her part. Attacking the judge, again, for the judge that's going to make the case, because you effed up on the paperwork and did not, request a jury trial and then complained about it, okay, as if it's the judge's fault. No, it doesn't seem like a strong strategy, okay? I mean, righteous indignation, and that's what this is, right? And that's basically what Trump's doing, what Alina Habba is doing in his stead. Looks good for the cameras, not so good for the client, not so good for the case. But there's a reason. There's a madness behind the method, okay? Or I should say method to the madness, but you see what I did there, right? Because it is madness. The only reason I think that they went with this is because they expect not to win. I mean, it's not because they're right and Letitia James is just out to get Trump like he's claiming. No, it's because they don't have a defense. And for them, so there's a lot on the line. Obviously, this is Trump's business empire, which he very much cares about, I'm sure, because that's where his money is. At the same time, it's not a criminal trial, so he doesn't face any possibility of jail time. So, if he and his lawyers, they get super obstinate, which is what they've been doing, well, that's not going to lead to arrest. That's going to lead to potential monetary damages. Now, Trump's lawyer is doing exactly what Trump wants her to do. She's putting up a show, and of course, news of the show will get out, as it has, and as a result, the diehard Trump supporters will swoon because, they're so tough. Look at Trump. He's so tough facing down Letitia James. And that will cause them, in their minds, hopefully, and I'm talking about, Trump's mind and Habba's mind, that's going to get these diehard Trumpers to open up their wallets and fund not only her, but also if Trump loses, and he's very likely to, probably by default judgment, in this case, look, if they lose, Trump's going to owe a lot of money. So he's basically going to survive, and I think he's counting on this, off of the donations of his cult, his fan base. And I think that's the game that they're playing here. Now, of course, he could misjudge and not get enough money to, from his fans, his followers, to fund his lifestyle, especially if he loses. I don't know, but it is a game that they're playing here. And the thing about this game is that it's stupid. And you know the saying about playing stupid games and what kind of prizes you end up with.